tell you a little about myself. First of all, I have been teaching English as a second language and as a foreign language for over 13 years. I started teaching in Japan with a special program that sent people from English-speaking countries all over the world to Japan to teach in high schools and junior high schools. So I lived in Japan for 3 years and taught there. And I also taught in the United States, here in Georgia, and also in Florida for different English language institutes and intensive English programs. And I also worked as a teacher trainer in Mexico for the Department of State's English Language Fellow program. So I've been in the field for some time now, and I really enjoy it. Like, learning Japanese was my first experience with the language. My first experience with teaching was in Japan when I taught high school students, and I just remember that first moment, standing in front of a classroom, and there were 40 students, Japanese students, all wearing the same uniform, and it was so scary for me the first time. I really had a difficult time with it at first. But soon I really started to like teaching, and I really started to enjoy it. And now, after all these years of experience, I'm sure my students would describe me as a very enthusiastic and very motivated and very active teacher. I'm the type of teacher that does not sit down, and I strongly believe in interactive language learning. I believe that the students really gain a lot from interacting with their peers and practicing the language with their peers. And I think in today's modern, technological, busy world, students are becoming accustomed to getting information from multiple sources, the internet, texting, and instant messaging. They're used to this kind of technology now. So I think my style of teaching reflects that in many ways, because I don't like my students to just sit and stay still for an entire long class period. Many of my lessons are composed of activities where the students must get up and move around and interact with each other. I do a lot of activities where I put information on the walls of the classroom. The students have to get up and move around to complete the activity. And that's one of my big beliefs as a language teacher, is to have a very motivating, warm, enthusiastic atmosphere in the classroom, and to encourage students to interact as much as possible. And there's a lot more to me as a language teacher, but I think that's all I will share with you for now. I really hope to learn more about each of you as an individual language teacher and also as a language learner. I also look forward to sharing ideas about materials development and materials design, which is the module that I will be teaching with this online program. And I really look forward to discussing all of these different topics with you. Again, nice to meet you, and thank you.
And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about who I see myself as in terms of being a teacher, a language teacher. It's, as someone has often told me, it's not rocket science. You know, what we do, it's not all that difficult in the sense that, you know, there's not this massive technology, and there's also not this incredible pressure. You know, a surgeon working in surgery, that's pressure. What we do, it's not so much. Not so much. But as a teacher, I've thought about sort of my underlying values. And it can be sometimes hard to articulate, in part because, I'm sure as you guys know, if you're teaching now, you just have to get out there and do it. You've got a lot of responsibilities, dealing with students, dealing with the time constraints, and you just want to get through it, get this done. But when we have moments to reflect, I think I look at it as a process where I become, in part, an expert for my students, but in part also a facilitator for my students. And in some ways, I also become, I don't know if I want to say a cheerleader, but I am someone who gives people permission. I give my students permission to make mistakes, to be creative, even if being creative is wrong sometimes, and to provide them with the environment where they are able to explore language without having a whole lot of drama going on about, am I going to lose face? Are people going to be judging me? I try to make it a judgment-free zone because I'm very much aware outside the classroom they will be judged. We are all judged on how effectively we can communicate. You're judging me right now. Is this guy, can he get across to us? That's just a little bit about who I am as a teacher. I'm really looking forward to working with everybody because I want to develop those ideas that I'm working on with you, and I want you to also start developing those ideas for yourself and for the people that you'll be working with, either your students or your teachers in training, what we call pre-service teachers, if you're going to be working with them. So folks, it's a pleasure, and I will see you soon. Bye.